Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Madam, and I'm coming back to you once again. This time we're going over to Cafe Mom, and I will list the article right and all the details in the description as I always do. This is in the crime section. It says MAGA teen shoots himself in the leg to prolong abduction hoax by 4 Hispanic men. Yes, you heard me right. He cheddar-bobbed his own self. Let's get into this article. Every mother's worry, they will get that call one day from someone saying something horrific has happened to her baby. My stomach sinks every time my kids school call me, even though I know it's 99% likely they are just contacting me to tell me something minor, like he has a fever. I can hardly imagine what was going through Florida mom Ann Spate's mind when she got a text from her 17-year-old son, Caden Spate, saying he'd been abducted and shot by 4 Hispanic men in a white van. I also can't imagine what it was like to have him found, only to discover he made the entire thing up. Caden was reported missing on September 25th, 2025, after his mother received a harrowing text. He was reportedly seen wearing a MAGA hat. Before his disappearance, police immediately sprang into action, deploying every resource they had into finding Caden, reported the Daily Mail. The issue They issued an Amber Alert, and according to the New York Post, authorities quickly found his abandoned car with evidence of a single gunshot. Authorities worked through the night searching the area via helicopter and checked hospitals with no luck. Okay? And then they have the Marin County Sheriff's Office. It says, update, Caden has been located safe in Willington. This investigation is ongoing still. More updates will be provided as they become available. Okay? Caden turned up the next day, and police determined that he wasn't abducted. He had instead made up the entire ordeal and even shot himself to keep up the ruse. His claim that he has been shot and abducted was quickly dissolved or disproven, asserted Marin County Sheriff's Billy Woods in a lengthy Facebook post video update. We then learned that he had purchased a bicycle, tent, and camping supplies just prior to him reporting this. Chill, are you serious? Wow. Okay, so I'm about to play this video, right? Real quick, and we're gonna get into it and stuff, and I'll save my commentary.
Hello, Marion County citizens. Sheriff Woods here. I know many of you have been deeply invested into this case of Caden Spate. When you heard the initial alarming information that was being given to us, many of you even joined in to help in any way you could. And I want to commend my deputies and detectives that sprang into action and worked through the night and into the next day on this. In addition, we also had help from around the state and federal agencies. Many people reached out. Now, because of their hard work, the initial details that Caden texted to his family were proven to be false, completely made up. We did find evidence of a single gunshot where Caden left his truck. However, his claims that he had been shot and abducted were quickly disproven. We then learned that he had purchased a bicycle, tent, and camping supplies just prior to him reporting this. Now, I want to make something abundantly clear. Probably many of you are asking, well, why do you divert so many resources? The truth is, in all cases, we cannot take anything that's done or said lightly. We have to take it as though it was the truth in the beginning. Because heaven forbid, if something just made one little turn and it turned out to be the truth. So, because of this alarming amount of red flags that initially kept going up, we had to continue the investigation. But here's the thing. We had witnesses that contradicted the initial information. Caden simply rode away towards Williston, while the rest of us were left to think the worst, and my team was working in overdrive to solve this case. Now, to continue the ruse, Caden, who had a handgun with him since the beginning of all of this, chose to shoot himself in the leg, causing a non-life-threatening injury just prior to walking out to the roadway where he would be located by citizens of Williston. There is zero chance that Caden's gunshot wound came from any type of an assailant. Now, many of you have asked, will Caden be facing any charges? What about the taxpayers' cost of this large-scale investigation and search? Trust me, it is on my mind. I can tell you those items are not off the table at this point. Right now, we are still processing all of the evidence in this case. I don't want to make any statements on that until we have fully examined it all. Naturally, my detectives had a lot of questions for Caden. However, his parents refused to allow my detectives to speak with him so that we could come to a true final conclusion in all this. Again, thank you, citizens, for your tips and information that you sent in. And when we do have any updated information on this case, I promise you, we will provide it to you.
Well, that is the end of that. And we're just going to continue on with the article, as you heard from the police officer, basically what happened. But the article continues saying that Woods emphasized there was zero chance he was shot by an assailant. Many of you have asked, will Caden be facing charges? And it's basically going through everything that was stated in the video in this portion. Okay? It says, as of September 29th, statement, Caden's parents have refused to allow detectives to speak to the team. And that is the end of the article, basically. It just very not a well thought out plan. The question becomes now, once they have analyzed all the evidence and everything, will he be charged with a crime? And if so, if charges are to be laid upon this young man, what would the charges be? Would it be making a false statement? Would it be a hate crime because he said the assailants were four black, not four black men, four Hispanic men? And you know, what will be the penalties in association with whatever charge he, he acquires from this stunt that he did, because it was just a stunt. It wasn't anything serious. Like the article said and the video said, the sheriff said it was a tremendous waste of taxpayer dollars, given the situation now of how everything is going and everything is in the shortfall as it is. Spending tax dollars that you don't need to spend for a fake, search, only to find out that this young man cheddar bobbed himself. Okay? It has to be some type of penalty there. It has to be. Um, you know, Whether he spends time in jail or he has to pay a fine. Definitely he should have to pay back, in my opinion, the money that it was spent, the resources that was spent to actually look for him. That is by no means a small task. When they do these searches, when they do these Amber Alerts, it goes way beyond that. They use air support. Sometimes they use boats, combing specific area. That takes manpower, that takes overtime, that takes away from other things that could be going on in the area that requires their attention. So as far as the manpower, it spreads it real thin. People, from my understanding, did come out and try to assist in helping trying to find Caden. And this is a serious issue. This has happened way more than it should be happening. It's really bad. When you have to do this. Just to find out what was the reason behind it, and to blame a group or demographic of people just because what is very foolish. Very, very foolish. He should face some type of punishment for this. Besides the bullet in his leg, he should face some type of punishment. And if his parents want to protect their child, which I understand totally, any parent wants to protect their child, but if they try to obstruct justice, then they need to be held accountable as well, because that is ridiculous. But I don't know, you guys. That's just my opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. Drop down in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this. What are some of the things that you think he should be charged with? And what do you think his motivation was? I would definitely like to know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And with that, you guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I appreciate it anytime you do. And I'll holler at you in the next one. But always remember, be good to yourself. And free speech is not just for the elite or the privileged. It is for everyone in the United States.